I like the mountain or yonder. Today I have to do a close to home through the park walk because it's 29 degrees at 7 in the morning. So it's going to be hot today. Proper heat wave. Sometimes the whole thing amounts to just some dead tree in the background. The thing you are going to want to do is walk in shady areas when the temperature is pushing 30 degrees. So when it gets up into the high 80s, low 90s, you start to feel the pinch. It's it's a real deal. I don't know about all this El Nino stuff. I know the phenomenon, and it's happening. But this global temp is just going up, and it's not going to stop going up. Even if we had a way to suck the carbon out of the atmosphere, it would still cost a lot of carbon production. You have to build the machines. You still have to mine things. All that honest sorcerer stuff. William Rees, Vaclav Smil. So all we can do is just watch and riot over basketball games and argue over White House lawn UFC spectacles and the price of tickets at the World Cup. I mean, really important stuff. Burning down immigrants' housing in Northern Ireland and Glasgow. So, rowdy kids are going to do shit because they have no prospects. Their education sucks now. And they feel the pinch. So they're going to scapegoat. They're going to find simple narratives, and then they're going to go crazy. All that testosterone, all that energy has to go somewhere. And our market capitalism system doesn't direct that energy towards solving problems that actually matter or mitigating the effects of predicaments that we're in. So the kids, they're not going to read that much. They're going to go out, burn down houses, attack migrant workers. It's weird. In Portugal, we need labor, and people are going to freak out that there are foreigners here doing work. But what Portuguese people are here to do the work? I live in all these villages, beautiful villages around here. The one thing you notice is how few children there are. Again, it's like people move to the coast, to the cities for work, or they leave the country for higher paying jobs. You don't have labor, so people in their 50s and 60s and 70s have basic skills to do stuff that needs to be done around these farms. It's a problem. They'll all come back to the villages once the cities are starving of energy. Well, this is the beginning of going down the hill, and of course you know what happens when you get down the hill. You have to go up the hill, That's the thing. That's where you get your HIIT training, high intensity interval training. So it works. My blood pressure was pretty high, and then I programmed into my smart devices program that I'm doing, and I've been sticking to it for a couple of months already. And I'm not losing that much weight, but I'm getting in shape, and my blood pressure went way down. It's in the 20s now, 125 over 171. So it's looking pretty good. And that's a resting blood pressure measurement with a good machine and cuff. And I educated myself on how to use it properly. So hopefully I'm getting good readings and taking my blood pressure in the morning and the evening from the left and right arm and averaging it out over time. So yeah, it all depends a lot on stuff like obviously, oh my God, so many trees are down on this road. No wonder it's I don't know if I can walk down here. It'll be too much trouble to climb over the fallen trees from the bad weather. Yeah, so I'm happy about that. That's a good thing. My basic biomarkers and health markers are looking pretty good. Yeah, so when I go to a party and I drink too much wine, that's when things go a bit south in terms of all that. But I bounce back pretty quick because I don't continue to party day after day. It's just once or twice a month. And we're in the party season now, so all these villages have really great parties. They have lots of bands and musicians and food and dinners and dances. Usually starts around 6, and the older people hang out and then they go home, and then from 10 p.m. on, the younger people hang out until the sun comes up. So yeah, there are young people, but it's not like it was. It's just pure economic reasons. So I'm listening to a podcast from Planet Critical. Rachel is interviewing this author and researcher. I don't know what she does. I haven't read the description, but her name is Claire Fulleman, and she wrote a book called Invasive Species, and she has a very interesting take on it. So it's not the usual way we mostly think about it, that it's an ecological thing, but it's complex, and of course capitalism has a lot to do with it. And it's interesting, she was mentioning how they weaponize the speech towards invasive species, like invasive species. We've been invaded by a species. And then you have to hunt the owls down, and you have to hunt the coyotes down, and you have to, but anyway, if it's not making money, the whole thing's about the economy and making money, business. So it's not really about ecology. And then you can expand that to, migrant workers, invasive migrants. They're coming to ruin everything, so you have to get rid of them, pull them out by the root, hunt them down. Oh my God. People really don't care much about history, do they? But anyhow, yeah, so this is quite interesting. I like the foliage. It's a pity I'm not a botanist and I don't know the names of all these plants. But yeah, I like the growth. These things, man, in the back of my place, they grow up like a skyscraper, these brambles. But there's all kinds of nice little plants. This is cute. And the cork trees, they're spectacular. I love the cork trees. See, people come in here and harvest the cork. That's a nice little cork stand. What do you call it? Yeah, so pretty fun back in here. And of course, because of the green and the trees and the shade, it can be 30 degrees and you're not quite as stressed, heat stressed. At the same time, I don't want to spend too much time outside walking around in this kind of weather. It's not a good idea. And it's easy to go into these parks and get lost. Nobody's here. So I hydrated really well before I left the house. I'm carrying water, but you know, you can get to cafes and stuff, but sometimes they can be 2 or 3 kilometers away. You have to think about what you're doing. They have these interesting little obstacles. There's like brambles, sinkholes. I'm gonna have to push through here, man. Whoa. Pushing through. Brambles in the way. You can move the brambles by the leaves. Don't touch the stems. And they stick to you. I don't like the looks of this. I think I'm pretty much boxed in. So I'm going to go back. I don't want to get stuck down in here on a hot day. That's okay. I can walk up the hill. But I still feel like even on a hot day in the morning, because I'm doing so well with my blood pressure and whatnot, to go ahead and take these walks, even if it kills me. No, I'm not going to have a heat stroke. Yeah, I can work out at home and clean the garage and the basement. But I love going outside every day. Like I said yesterday, cycling is deceptive because the wind makes you feel cool when you're cycling. Then you stop the bike for a minute and you realize it's sweltering. And you don't realize how much you're sweating on the bike. So you really need a lot of water. And as you get older, they say, we don't notice how thirsty we are. Our sense of thirst is diminished. So that's something to think about. That's my doctor said, because when I was younger, I always drank when I was thirsty, and that seemed to work. And I drank a lot of water. I was very active. But then I didn't feel the need to drink as much. I told my doctor I drink when I'm thirsty, and he said, oh sorry, she said, no, not a good idea, and she explained it to me. So, getting that 1.5 or 2 liters a day, really important. And then she told me to make sure I drink in the morning, between, waking up and after lunch. We eat big lunches in Portugal. Like in Ireland, we used to have dinner midday and tea at night, so very light meal. And here it's similar, but they may eat 2 big meals. I don't really know, but definitely midday meal is a big meal, and it is for us. So get your water, get hydrated, and then apparently I've been trying not to drink any water after 7 p.m. But I really think it's better for me after 6. I don't want to wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning to urinate. So, but usually, well, maybe, you feel like you have to urinate and you're having a dream, and you wake up and have to go to the bathroom, then get back in bed and hopefully fall asleep again. So for my case, if I sleep between 6.5 and 7.5 hours, 8 hours is a miracle, but 7.5 hours, I feel like I'm 40. I feel really good when I get good sleep. And the discipline, being consistent about that, turning off your screens. I read books at night, and sometimes I'll listen to a podcast at night, and I'll fall asleep listening to it. I put it on the timer, and then I can rewind and listen to it again during the day, so I get what I missed. That works. But being consistent, they always say that you should try to go to sleep the same time every night and wake up the same time. That's not so easy. But I'm not too social out here, and my neighbors, we know when we get together at the pub, or the cafe. So it's easier. If I were in town, I might be more social, and it might be harder to maintain that consistency.